Yo, what's up, people?
What up, what up, what up, what up?
We are back.
Back.
Clark Brothers back at you, coming back with another edition of the Sports Fanatic. Whoa, haven't done that
Sports
in a while.
Fanatic, back at it. Haven't done it in a while, but we're back with a good one. Here to give you the real on what's going on in sports without the narratives, without the made up stuff. And we say what everyone is afraid to say, what they can't say, or what they just don't want to say. So
just won't say, yeah.
Just real sports. We're just here to give you the facts and the stats. That's what we do here on the Sports Fanatic.
Always. And of course, we definitely want to shout out to everybody that supports the Sports Fanatic. I know we've been, on a little hiatus, but we're going to be back talking a little more because the sports pick back up. We got obviously the NBA finals that's about to start. And, speaking of basketball, of course, the Lakers are very close to a deal with Dan Hurley. As their new head coach, they're trying to really lock him into a massive deal. And that's stuff that, we can talk about. But what we really want to talk about this topic right now of the month, definitely of the week, it's been going on for the last week and a half, is obviously the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Has been going on since the WNBA started this season.
Actually started. Actually, the Caitlin Clark phenomenon basically actually started. We're gonna say, we'll go over when it actually started, but all last year, it's the phenomenon. This had been leading up to this point to where we're at now. So the Caitlin Clark phenomenon has been going on, especially since last year, the college tournament, the college Final Four, and now even going into the WNBA. So there's a lot of talking points on this. A lot has happened since the WNBA draft. And I mean, I never saw this going to this level of where it's going. But, at this point in time, the WNBA needs to buckle down on this problem we're going to talk about because it could only get worse.
Yeah, it can only get worse. And I understand the attention. I mean, in the day and age we live in now, there is no bad publicity, right? So they're getting publicity. So that's a good thing. But they just need to rein things back in. And this is why. So let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about what we're really going to talk about today is the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Okay. And to what percentage everything takes place within this phenomenon. And as you see, the title of this says, and we know people are going to be a little angry, but we got to keep it real. It's 50% racially motivated, and we will explain what we mean by that.
Right.
And, we'll start from the beginning. So, as we know, Caitlin Clark, we know that, she came on the scene. She's been, we knew that she was, a good scorer and all that since she's been, in college, obviously, because she broke records and things of that nature. But let's take it back to a little bit over a year ago, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit over a year ago when she was in the finals. When she was in the Elite Eight.
Right.
She played, I believe, in the Sweet 16. I think she played Colorado. I think in the Elite 8, she played Louisville. I'm not sure, but I think she played Louisville in the Elite 8. I think in the Final Four, she played South Carolina,
South
who at that
Carolina.
point was undefeated. So
Right.
she beat South Carolina. And that's when I think people, even though they saw that she was, scoring 30 and hitting threes, and they see the WNBA highlights throughout the season, they say, oh, okay. Oh, no, she's pretty nice at three. But they didn't really start talking about her until on even for WNBA crowd
Well,
until after she beat South
NCAA
Carolina.
crowd.
Yeah, NCAA crowd until she beat South Carolina because South Carolina was undefeated. They were the defending champions, and
Right.
nobody really gave Iowa a chance to beat South Carolina. And Caitlin Clark, came in. She dropped, I believe, 37 points or something like that, or 31 points against South Carolina. And she catapulted them to victory. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the first week that she did. She may have did it the week before that, but to Louisville, because I think she had actually did that to what's the girl's name? Van Lilt.
Van Lit.
Haley
Yeah.
Van Lit.
Yeah.
I believe she did it to her, who at the time was on Louisville. If you remember,
Yeah.
she transferred to LSU. She did it to
Yeah.
her actually. And then the following week, she did it to South Carolina, right? And then that is when the week after that is when she went up against Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers. Now, Angel Reese and LSU, as we all know, they beat Iowa. Angel Reese then returned the "You Can't See Me" right to Caitlin Clark, and then the "Ring Me" sign, basically telling it "Ring Me," and then she did that as the game was winding down. Then when the game was over, she then sorted out Caitlin Clark and continued to do it.
Yeah.
Right, Caitlin Clark, I believe, just walked off the court. I mean, no, Caitlin Clark did shake hands with the players. Angel Reese passed her, and she was doing that. Now, the moment Angel Reese did the "You Can't See Me," this went from being a college basketball thing to a race thing.
Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy called the move classless. That started trending. A lot of people joined in, both sides saying, yes, this is good, no, this is awful. Some say it's a double standard because Caitlin actually did the same thing earlier in the tournament. This video from the Elite Eight, you see her there. Stephen A. Smith says this shows how a black athlete is criticized more for doing the same thing a white athlete might be praised for.
I would agree with Stephen A. I mean, I think there is a racial component to this because when it's all said and done, she was doing her move, right? The same move she did to other people. And,
everything is a racial thing, you guys.
No, come on. This situation there, it's absolutely true. I mean, the fact that she's being criticized so much by doing the same things that this other player, Caitlin Clark, does to other players, I think is a bit hypocritical. I don't think it's, it makes sense. I get why people are upset about it.
In response to Angel Reese making that gesture, a number of prominent figures called her out. Keith Olbermann tweeted, "What an effing idiot." Founder of Barstool Sports, Portnoy, called Reese a, quote, classless piece of shit on Twitter. And this launched
some strong language
battle.
Yep.
A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but let's just be honest. The fact that Angel Reese is black and she did the "You Can't See Me" to the white, the Midwestern, golden child, future golden child of the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, is what made people that didn't even care about women's college basketball, that all of a sudden made them care because you're now talking about the color of someone's skin.
So, but from that point on, America started to view it as a race thing.
Yep. It was
so what did they do?
The female magic bird.
Yeah, female magic. So what did they do? All of the Midwesterns, all of the, white America got behind Caitlin Clark from that point on.
And all of the African Americans
Yeah.
You know,
And the African Americans got behind
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese. Then it became this thing. Now we saw this brewing. A lot of people saw it brewing. From that point on, they kind of became the Magic and Bird. Didn't matter who they played or who they faced. Everyone was waiting to see them face each other again.
Yep.
Their teams face each other again. But this time, the way the seedings went, they would face each other, fast forward to the next year, they would face each other in the Final Four.
Right. And if you notice, college basketball purposely did not put them on each other's schedule. You see, they didn't play during the season because they were gearing up for these two teams to meet somewhere in the tournament. And you just knew that they were going to put them on the same sides. They didn't have a chance of them. They would have to both get to the finals and meet. So, I mean, you could tell they put them on the opposite brackets. Yeah. I mean, on the same side of brackets, so they would have to meet each other. So just in case a chance of South Carolina knocking out
somebody,
before getting to
it's especially with LSU because South Carolina kind of had LSU's number,
right?
So they didn't want, and they won't admit it, but if you go back and look at the brackets, you'll see they did not want South Carolina to or LSU to run into South Carolina and possibly get knocked out. And this being Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese last year, they needed them to face each other. And it proved to be the right move because they, to that point, had drew the highest rating for women's college basketball.
Right.
Up to that point. So it proved to be a smart move on the NCAA part. So we go to that game, and it goes down. Caitlin Clark, of course, throughout the season is still gaining momentum on her, her everything, her accolades, her stardom, everything. She's already becoming the golden child now because it's her last season. Everyone since that incident that you just mentioned has gotten behind her now.
And during that time, Angel Reese really didn't help herself in not becoming the villain because what happened with Angel Reese? So Angel Reese won the national championship. Immediately, she's got the deal. What type of deal are those called when their likeness?
The NIL deal.
The NIL deals, and she's talking about, I might not even go to the WNBA. I make more money on my NIL deals than I would on the WNBA. Right then, you see her up in the music videos with the rappers, and everyone's getting behind it. Then the following year, when the year comes in, Angel Reese, first of all, LSU loses a game early.
Yeah.
And Angel Reese is somewhat seemingly suspended from the team. Rumors going around that her grades were low, academically but she opened up the door for the criticism of people saying, look, she's not even really taking it serious. She's got so much other things going around. She's probably suspended for the team, right? So then LSU did not look as dominant as they did the previous year. But because of their talent, they were able to win most of those games. And their coaching, they would win most of those games. So now they meet up with Caitlin Clark. And what was it, the Final Four?
Final Four.
Yeah. Final Four, they meet up with Caitlin Clark. And at that point in time, it became the most watched game pretty much in history. No, it was the Elite Eight because they played UConn in the Final Four.
Elite Eight, yeah.
They made up in the Elite Eight.
So that's kind of early too. They met up in the Elite Eight, because of the seeding, and then the winner would have played the winner of UConn and USC in the Final Four. So they go ahead and do it. We all know how that turned out. So Caitlin Clark,
gets her revenge on
gets her
Angel
revenge
Reese.
on the team.
Now, remember, all through the year, everybody's waiting to see, or the fans are way more, coming down on Angel Reese way more than Caitlin Clark. I know a lot of people saying, because Caitlin Clark didn't want no smoke or whatever the case may be. Caitlin Clark could have, she could have did the "you can't see me" back to her. Remember, she made a comment the previous year, said it really didn't bother her because she does it to other people. So rightfully so, she do it back to her. But she foregone the possibility of her doing it back to Angel Reese. So, but I think Caitlin Clark is very calculated. I think she knows how that's going to make her look like, she's so classy. And Angel Reese, she wants Angel Reese to look like the thug, to look like the nasty person. While I'm going to sit back here, knowing behind closed doors, God only knows what she's saying about Angel Reese. But in public, she's going to make sure that she comes across as the good guy, as the classy one. You know what I mean? So that helps her narrative that she is,
big up
she
to
is
her
the
team.
right, that she is the one that's getting bullied and stuff like that. So, and she doesn't think of it as racially motivated, right? So then we have, that was the biggest game. Then of course, when Caitlin played South Carolina in the finals, that became the biggest game ever in history.
Because at that point, all the Caitlin Clark supporters were tuning in to hopefully see Caitlin Clark win.
Right. Win the title. So that's the ultimate payback of Angel Reese.
Yeah.
She can't get the ultimate revenge if she doesn't close the deal. She knocked Angel out, but the ultimate revenge will be, okay, and I also ended my college career with one ring. We got one ring apiece, so you didn't do anything that I didn't do.
I didn't do. Exactly. So throughout, and if we rewind just a tad bit, throughout the season, we know that, that Angel Reese was always being, and like you said, she didn't do a lot to help us up. At the same time, she was racially attacked. If you go online, we were online all this time, and that's why we're doing this podcast, because I've seen so much before they even met again, racially motivated slurs and comments about Angel Reese. Then you got the article that was written. We called them the dirty debutantes.
From the LA Times.
From LA Times. That was, so like, it was cool to not just get on Angel Reese, but LSU, period.
Right.
And go after him. Even then, how you got Haley Van Lith, who was now on LSU, even she came out and said that a lot of the people coming down on her teammates, it's racially motivated. She said it.
Right.
As you know, Haley Van Lith is white. She said, it's racially motivated. A lot of the things that people have been saying about her teammates. So she came out in defense of her teammates. So we know it was a lot. I mean, some of the stuff is not even worth repeating. I mean, the things they were saying about Angel Reese.
They were saying about Angel Reese, but she looks like a man, a transgender, a ghetto,
a thug. They said, people saying, she'll have her OnlyFans, and she's gonna have her OnlyFans in 3, 2, 1, and all this other stuff. All this stuff they're saying. Classless. That's the word they kept using.
Classless. And but yet and still, they did not use that word for Caitlin Clark when she did the same thing, and that's where it becomes the race issue. Because why is the black girl classless when she does it, but Caitlin Clark is not classless when she does it?
Classless. And let's be honest, Caitlin Clark, she's competitive. And Caitlin Clark, there is plenty of video of Caitlin Clark, pushing people down, hard fouls, getting in people's face, taunting people. But that's just being competitive in the eyes of her supporters. But when someone did it to her, it was classless. So
Right.
we move forward. Okay, we know what happened. Caitlin Clark unfortunately, did not seal the deal, and she could not. They just
Right.
just wasn't enough. There was the South Carolina was too much for them. Right.
Right.
So South Carolina completes their undefeated season and wins the championship.
Right.
Once again, people, they had a little less to say, but I sort of heard the rumblings about that when South Carolina, once again, they were
all these big girls, and
yeah, these big girls and
good man like girls on their
right.
team, and
Right. Yeah. So they that was that. Okay. So now, fast forward to the WNBA draft. We already know, everyone knows Caitlin Clark is going to be the number one pick.
draft.
She had offers to go to
highest
big three.
rated.
Yeah.
It's the highest rated.
Highest rated. Yeah, it's definitely the highest rated and most watched WNBA draft ever. And that is where the whole Caitlin Clark phenomenon really kicked in.
Right.
Now you have this woman who is this young woman. I'm not gonna call her a girl. You have this young woman who's coming into the league of older women, professionals, and the media and the fans just basically decided to get on the Caitlin Clark train, and we're gonna lift her up to this pedestal that she is the savior of the WNBA. Everybody says it. All of the fans
everybody should bow down to Caitlin Clark.
Down to
don't matter, Asia Wilson. You won 2 championships in a row,
and
2 finals MVP. You still bow down to Caitlin Clark. If it wasn't for her,
down to Caitlin
no one would be talking about you.
And you know why? Because half of these people that are suggesting this wasn't watching Asia Wilson. They wasn't watching WNBA. So now they're following Caitlin Clark. So now everyone needs to bow down to her. Everybody needs to show some gratitude that she's bringing all of these new fans to the game and bringing all these new fans to the sport. And so when Diana Taurasi, who is a legend in the WNBA herself,
who is white,
who is white, right? She says, Caitlin Clark, and she said it to all the rookies. She didn't just say it to Caitlin Clark. She said it to the rookies, period. But she was speaking on Caitlin Clark in that aspect. She said, reality is coming. You're coming into a league. It's not going to be easy. It's, you're playing against kids in college. Now you're playing against grown women that do this, and not just grown women. I wish she wouldn't even just use that. What she should have said was grown athletes, right? Because these women are not just women. Let's be honest here. I don't care how much you don't like the WNBA. These women are elite athletes.
They're the most elite athletes in women's basketball. That's why they're in the WNBA.
That's why
at the same time, coming out of college, a lot of people were saying Angel Reese's game was not going to translate to the WNBA, and they were saying that they didn't think she's going to be very good, and she was the 7th pick and not the 1st or 2nd or 3rd. But they were saying that her game, because they feel as though she was limited offensively, would not translate into the WNBA. So people were looking and hoping that Angel Reese failed, and at the same time boost Caitlin Clark. Now, is Caitlin Clark responsible or highly responsible for the new this crazy fad for WNBA? Of course. I mean, you can't sit and lie and say she's not. All you gotta do is look at the numbers before her draft, then her draft came, and then you gotta look at the games that they've played so far this year and the games without Caitlin Clark. If Angel Reese is not in the draft last year, trust me, it's still getting the same ratings.
Yeah.
This is not where Angel Reese
Reese.
plays a part in her phenomenon.
Yeah.
Angel Reese plays a part in it becoming the phenomenon that it is.
Phenomenon that
I'm
it is.
I'm not
Yes.
I'm not going to say that, oh, well, people are also coming out the WNBA to see Angel Reese too. There are people who are out there. She has a lot of celebrity friends, and they do come to support Angel Reese. Whether they're coming there because they want to see, they really like what Angel Reese brings to the table, or whether they're coming there just because they want to support her, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They come out to see Angel Reese.
Yep. Exactly. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and move on with we said it's 50% racially motivated.
And we'll
You just
explain why.
mentioned,
Because people are
let's
saying,
explain
wait a
why.
minute, Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark's I hear a lot of people try to say that's wrong. This has nothing to do with race. It's Caitlin Clark able to shoot logo threes and this, that, and the third. And again,
No.
that's not the reason why.
No.
That's not the reason why Angel Reese made the comment about me too. I'm a part of it too. What Angel Reese is a part of is the Caitlin Clark becoming the phenomenon it's become, because she did the "you can't see me" in her face. If Angel Reese would have never did that to Caitlin Clark, she would have never became trending. She would have never went viral. They just would have, during sports, it just would have trended for an hour or two, showed her highlights from the games, and that would have been it. They never would have focused on, look at this big black girl and what she's doing to this little Midwestern white girl.
Yeah.
Bullying this little white girl, because Angel Reese said, "You can't see me," and then ended up beating Caitlin Clark. That's what gave them a phenomenon for the following year, to have everybody watching and waiting for this game. Everybody following Angel Reese, hoping she fails. People that were not watching Angel Reese the previous year, now they're watching Angel Reese, hoping that she bombs out.
Yeah.
So when she says, "I'm a part of it too," I believe Angel Reese is a part of it, because if Caitlin Clark was not white and Angel Reese said, "You can't see me," and to another black girl, nobody would have cared. If Caitlin Clark was black,
right,
and Angel Reese went up to Caitlin Clark and said, "You can't see me," and Angel Reese was still Caitlin Clark was still shooting the way she's shooting, it would not be as nowhere near as close to the big deal that it is now. So that's where we come with, it is 50% racially motivated. Yes, I know how good she is. Yes, I know she shoots three from the logo. Right? I know all those things. If she was not white, this would not be a phenomenon. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Because is she a better player than Asia Wilson? No. Is she a better player than Diana Taurasi? No. Is she a better player than Candace Parker was? No. How come they weren't phenomenons?
Right.
Because they weren't white.
Sue Bird was white, but here's the difference. Sue Bird was white, Taurasi was white. Here's the deal. This is the first white female basketball player, if not ever in a long while, who not only shoots the lights out, but she's from Midwest America.
Yeah. Which
heterosexual.
Is usually heterosexual. So usually associated with conservatives.
And as you can see, the conservatives have gotten behind her. All of the people that are on the conservative stations have gotten behind Caitlin Clark. Right? So this is a different type of white. She represents white. Right? Like Taurasi is Italian. That's number one.
Right.
and she's LGBTQ plus. She's part of that. Community.
Which they don't like.
Sue Bird, I believe. I think Sue Bird is as well. So it's a little bit different. They didn't have the support of the white. people. And this, people get mad at what, but it's the truth. And we'll go into further examples. Once again, we're not taking away from Caitlin Clark's abilities. We know her ability.
Right.
We know how she is and how she can shoot and how she can play. But the bottom line is, if Caitlin Clark was black, she'd just be another great black WNBA player. The reason why she is such a phenomenon is because she is white.
White, playing a predominantly black
dominated,
right,
a black dominated sport. You don't believe us? Well, let's just flip the coin. Let's flip it over. If Tiger Woods was white, would he be he'd still be great golfer, but would he be this big deal?
He'd be Tom Watson. Because it'd be like, well, we've seen Jack Nicklaus do this, we've seen Tom Watson do this.
The fact that he's a black guy in a white dominated sport. And he's where a lot of blacks
wasn't even where blacks weren't even allowed in country clubs half the time. The same thing with Serena Williams and her being black. If Serena Williams is white, I mean, what is she doing that Martina Navratilova wasn't doing?
Exactly, she's Martina Navratilova if she's white. So guess what? No one's paying as much attention to her because she ain't doing nothing. But the fact that she is the most dominant player in that sport.
Yeah. And she's black.
She's black, and it's not a black dominated sport. I mean, I don't understand why people act like they don't understand this.
I know it's okay. It's okay to admit that. Listen, Caitlin Clark is a great, and people don't want to hear this, but we're saying it today on the Sports Fanatic. This is what you need to hear, and everybody else is afraid to say it. You got 100% of the pie. 50% of the reason of what this Caitlin Clark phenomenon is because of Caitlin Clark's race. Right. That means the media, the fans, you got people getting behind her. What would be the reason for people getting behind Caitlin Clark that never watched a WNBA game in their life? What would be the reason for them getting behind her if they don't watch the WNBA? Because she's white. Yeah. I'm going to give 30% to her skills. I give 30% to her because she shoots from the logo, because she broke the records. I'm going to give 30% to her skills. That leaves 20% of the pie.
Yeah.
15% of that goes to Angel Reese.
Agreed.
I think Angel Reese deserves 15% of the reason because she did You Can't See Me to Caitlin Clark. Now, granted, if that was another black player, it would have been the same thing. It would have been the same thing. If this was Floje from LSU, that did to Caitlin Clark.
If it wasn't Angel Reese, what you're basically saying, if it wasn't Angel Reese, if it was Floje instead of Angel Reese, who did that, went up out of her way and did that to Caitlin Clark, went out of her way to make Caitlin Clark look foolish,
right?
Then it'd be the same thing. And Floje would have been
right. And Floje probably would have got it worse because keep it real. Angel Reese is light skin, Floje is dark skin. So they really would have came down on Floje.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she a rapper and stuff like that. Oh, they would have went in on her. They would have went in on her. I mean, so yeah, I agree. So Angel Reese gets the 15% for sparking the racially motivated support.
And I'll say the 5% is social media. I'll give 5% to social media.
And the media period. Social media and media. The media, including social media, is the other 5%. And that is why that makes up the 100% of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. As we know, her skills is a big part of the pie, but it's not the majority.
Nope. It's not the biggest reason. I'm sorry, because if she was
I'm
black, they would
right.
not be. As remember, Isaiah Thomas made that comment about Larry Bird years ago
Larry
that
Bird.
everybody thought he was crazy, and he said Bird is great, but if he was black. Now, I wouldn't have went as far as Isaiah and said just another guy. He wouldn't have been just another guy,
He'd been just another
but
great black player.
he just been
But
another great player, right?
right, he'd been
Another
another
great
great,
black player.
and that's the bottom line. You know, Larry Bird, and we knew when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came out, who basically saved the NBA, and but they leaned into that black versus white. It was
Black
racial
versus
back
white.
then.
Yep.
It was black versus white.
Oh,
That's what it
the
was.
good versus the bad.
Good versus the bad.
Good versus
You know,
evil. They used to say good versus evil.
yep, versus
They,
evil. Wholesome white Boston, predominantly white players and white
yeah,
people versus Los Angeles, mostly
yeah.
black people. You
Mostly
know,
blacks.
yeah,
And
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 you
and
know,
and Magic was come from Michigan, was mostly white. And Larry
yeah,
Bird went to Indiana State, where it was
Indiana
mostly
State,
white.
mostly
You
white.
know, so
So I mean, let's be honest. This is right. We'll give you one more. I'll give you one more example. Let's take it away from sports. Let's take it away from sports. This is what happens if Eminem, who I consider one of the greatest rappers of all time, based on his skill alone, but
yeah.
Eminem had been black and not white, okay, he would not have been the phenomenon that he became.
He's Joyner Lucas.
Right.
I
Or
mean,
yeah, Royce the
or
5'9",
Royce the
Joyner Lucas.
5'9".
Yeah. I mean, and that's no knock on them because they're great lyricists, they're great
Right.
rappers. Dr. Dre said in many interviews, one of the reasons that attracted him to Eminem is the fact that he found out he was white.
Yep.
When he heard him, here comes Eminem, who is a white rapper who is just as good and better than a lot of the black rappers, which and you can see the resentment towards him from black rappers. To
Yep.
this day, will say Eminem is just a villain. There's no way a white man can be the king of hip hop, of a black dominated, a black genre. How can a white man be the king of black genre? You get it
Yep.
all the time.
You get all the
It's
time.
just it's
not
no
just
point in
not
shying
just
away from it.
right. Not just the WNBA. This is everything. It is right for
Everything.
everyone. That's how we're going to end it. For everyone who's afraid to say that it's racially motivated, it does not take away from Caitlin Clark's greatness. But let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, man. It has something. Her being white is a big part of it,
with it.
right? And Angel Reese getting to this point.
Yeah.
Now that she's in the WNBA, does Angel Reese have? No, but they don't play on the same team. They barely play each other. They don't play the same position. So it really doesn't have anything to do with each other now. But again, 50% racially motivated. So for all of y'all that's scared to say it, the Clark brothers said it for you.